Welcome to HortTube. My name is Jim Putnam, and in this video I'm going to do kind of a rapid fire round at the garden center on azaleas and hydrangeas. I'm going to do several of these videos in a row, I think, and just kind of break up the monotony of I'm planting another plant at my house, and hope this helps when you're shopping for plants this spring, or if you're planning on, later projects or whatever. I'm going to start with, like I say, azaleas today, and just show you some older varieties of azaleas and then some newer varieties of azaleas, and then do the same thing with hydrangeas. We'll go through the cart at some point and mix up things and show you some things that would look good in containers and things that would look good in the ground. I'll go through some annuals and some perennials and baskets, things like that that may help you, some just information that may help you if you're in a place where you're not going to be able to get help any Saturday in the spring that you go. Any place you go, even the best places, best garden centers in America, they're not really going to be able to put a lot of time and attention and detail into your shopping experience on a Saturday. So I'm hoping this will help some. So like I say, today I'm going to start with azaleas. We'll take a look at ones that have been around for a long time, and then some newer Encore varieties, and then I'll jump into hydrangeas, and then maybe we'll go across these carts real quick and I'll show you some interesting color combinations. Another reason I'm doing this right now is because I have never had more plant material at this place than I do right now. We've got rack after rack and a big giant area just absolutely full of trees and shrubs and annuals and herbs and vegetable plants there. Baskets, but I haven't filled up all of my perennial area yet. We're still getting cold nights here. And our average last frost is April 20th, and I think I'm shooting this on April 18th. So, and we have two 40 degree nights coming up this week. So there's still some things that I haven't brought out here yet, but all the trees and shrubs really don't care all that much as long as it's not really super cold. On azaleas, this right here is a Gumpo Azalea. And for those of you who aren't familiar with it, Gumpos typically come in pink or white, and this is a dwarf azalea. This is a true dwarf azalea. It only gets maybe 2 feet in height and 3 or 4 feet in width. Been around for a long time. One of the main things I like about Gumpo azaleas is they bloom later than the rest of them, so they're not quite as susceptible to serious freeze or frost damage. These bloom once in the spring, usually around late April or early May. This variety right here is called Fashion. It's been around for a long time, and it's basically similar to just really a ton of azalea varieties that get in a 3 to 4 foot height range, have kind of a medium-sized leaf compared to the Gumpo, which has a very small leaf. And the next one I'm going to show you, which is an Indica Azalea that has a very large leaf. Lots and lots of varieties on these. The most popular one now is probably Wolfpack Red, which I had over 100 of and sold out already. I'd like to be able to show you one. That one's become really popular because it's a true red variety, and I am near Raleigh, North Carolina, so the fact that it's called Wolfpack Red is a big bonus for folks. This variety right here is called George Tabor. It's one of my favorites, been around forever. It's a southern Indica Azalea. You may have heard of one called Formosa. These are at Augusta National. If any of you watched the Masters Golf Tournament, there's several varieties of these that they use at Augusta National. These are extremely hardy plants, and they can get 5-6 feet in height, or maybe even more, and 6 feet in width over time. All of these azaleas right here are going to bloom one time in the spring, and like I say, get various heights, and most of them are going to be hardy in zones 7 to 9. Here's a 7-gallon Formosa Azalea here, and like I say, that and George Tabor pretty much the same, gets the same height. Frequently people will mix these together. There's one called Gerbing that is a white. This one hasn't started blooming all the way up through the plant yet, but you can see the flowers are very large, the foliage is very large, and the plant gets very large. All of these azaleas are evergreen, and the traditional spring flowering azaleas really do like part shade or shade. And then some Encore varieties here, they really like at least 4 to 6 hours of direct sun. They require a little more sun than the traditional azaleas. This one right here is Autumn Bonfire. I planted these in a video in the fall. It's finishing its first round of flowering now. But if you look at it, it has that rounder kind of mid-size leaf and a flower size that's very, very similar to those mid-size varieties like that one right there. This one, I shot a video in the fall, is Autumn Twist Encore Azalea, and you see it has that two-tone flower. You see how very similar that is to that George Tabor Azalea. Even the foliage size is kind of similar. It doesn't get quite as big as George Tabor, but it is a very similar variety, and these will bloom spring, summer, and fall. And then this is a very vigorous growing variety I have found. I've planted this on several landscape jobs over the years. This was Autumn Royalty, and Autumn Royalty has that purple flower, large purple flower and large foliage that's very, very similar to Formosa Azaleas. But there you go. There's a group of traditional spring flowering azaleas that get different sizes and different shapes, and some new of the Encore varieties that bloom 3 times a year. And you can find similar pieces to the old varieties. So I'm going to move on to hydrangeas. This hydrangea right here is called Nico Blue. It's an old variety. If you see a hydrangea in the landscape that's blue or pink, and it's been there for a long time, it definitely could be Nico Blue. It's still requested quite a bit. These are part shade hydrangeas, the Bigleaf Hydrangeas, and they're going to get the big blue or pink balls depending on soil type. I did a video about that, I think back in the fall or late summer last year, if you want to look that up on how to manipulate the flower color back and forth. These are all part shade plants, and you definitely prune these after the spring flowering. I'll talk more about flowering in just a second. This variety is called Penny Mac. It is a remontant variety. Remontant means it repeat blooms. And this variety's been very, very popular for a while. It blooms into late spring, just like Nico Blue does with the big blue or big pink flowers. And then it'll put on some growth and actually reset buds later in the summer. It's great if you get a lot of winter damage in your area on your hydrangeas typically, because you'll still get flowers on this variety, even if you lost the winter buds or somebody accidentally pruned them in the winter time. So that's a nice new feature. And now there are lots of these remontant varieties. There's one right here from the Southern Living Plant Collection called Dear Dolores, and you can see it's just budded up all over right here, and it will flower in the late spring or early summer and then just keep setting new buds and continuing to bloom. I think I have one over here on this rack that's starting to show some blue color right there. And then this variety right here is called Big Daddy, and it's a very long bloomed variety, and it's a very, very vigorous grower. This thing can get quite large, but I sold out of these very, very quickly in the fall because it has gigantic clusters of flowers, and they're held up really high and tall on the plant. And you can see this cluster right here coming already, and this will just be a gigantic cluster of flowers. Most all of these are going to be hardy in zones 5 to 9 or 6 to 9. In some cases, you may want to check the tags. Okay. So here's a couple of containers that I'm thinking about doing. This is a boxwood back here. It's a baby gem boxwood. This is that little lime Nandina that I had a video up a few days ago about. It'll get brighter and brighter yellow as the season comes on. This is a purple Pixie Loropetalum, and it'll weep over the container with that purple foliage. What do you think about that combo right there? I think that's pretty nice. This is a sunshine Ligustrum, and I really still haven't covered this plant. I planted one in my front bed space, but I actually haven't done a video on this plant. This plant is just fantastic, and it's that showy year round. I'm definitely going to use one in a container. This is a Blue Star Juniper that'll weep down over the container. That's about as tall as it gets. It won't do a lot of weeping. It's kind of a slow growing beast. I didn't know if I like those two together or not. That's a Firestorm Lantana, a red Lantana. I thought that looked pretty good with that. I also have a purple diamond Loropetalum that I also thought looked pretty good with that. Tell me what you think on these containers, because I'm in the process of figuring out what shrubs I want to use in containers. Then I'll do annual and perennial ones later. And also, this is a Fats Hedra right here. It's a little climbing vine. It's really Not super cold hardy, but it is an absolutely beautiful shade plant and works great in containers. I've got this purple Heuchera with it right there, and I didn't know whether or not I liked that or not for a container. That Heuchera won't get a whole lot taller than that, and this will continue to climb a little bit, but it's not in a big hurry. And I was thinking about maybe using begonias or something like that as color in a shade container. Let me know what you think about that. So thank you very much for watching this video. Let me know in the comments below if this is the type of video that you would like to continue to see. That's very helpful for me to know that. I have a lot of plants right now, so I'm able to kind of put together groupings like this. I can't always do this because it seems like I'd always be missing something. I just happen to have the dwarf azalea and the mid-size azalea and the larger growing azaleas and the repeat flowering azaleas all at the same exact time. So hopefully that's helpful. So anyway, don't forget to subscribe to my YouTube channel for future videos. Thanks again.